So, to quote in today's bulletin says, trust is to human relationships what faith is to gospel living. It is the beginning place, the foundation upon which more can be built. Where trust is, love can flourish. My talk is called If I Can Trust God for This, Then I Can Trust God for That. Can't I? Is God present itself somewhere and not presence itself somewhere else? That's not logical, is it? Except to the illogical mind. Oh, well, yeah, I know this happened, but really, that's ridiculous to think that could happen. Yes, okay, so yes, this healed in me, this illness and everything, but I can't get more money. Or yes, I got a relationship, but I can't get more money. Yes, I got more money, but I can't heal this body. Yes, this wonderful thing happened, but I can't forgive my parents. Yes, I know this happened, but so what it says is, what that says really is God isn't. Because either God is or God isn't. And God's not a person, God is principle. God is principle itself. And so, principle has to be in effect all the time. It's not magic, but it is based on the law of mind action, which is, anybody know? Of course you know. Of course you know. Show off. He always knows. But why don't the rest of you? How many times have I said this on a Sunday? Law of mind action. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. If I want to know what I'm thinking, I need to look at my life. Let's be very clear here. It's not about the events that take place in life. It's about what I'm thinking, how I'm experiencing the events. I don't cause a car crash out in front of, well, what was I thinking to make that car crash? No, but how did you experience the car crash? How did you experience that? We don't, as far as I know, we don't make the rainfall or the sunshine. But what am I doing with the sunshine, with the rainfall? Why is it I complain in the winter when it's too cold, and I complain in the summer when it's too hot? And then I complain on a beautiful spring day because I have to stay inside. And then I complain that, oh, it's a beautiful summer day and I don't have any money to do anything with. Oh, it's Christmas. I have nobody to spend it with. Oh, woe is me. Woe is me. But if God is, then I am. And I am able or capable of living a life that is happy, joyous, and free now, whatever the conditions may be, whatever the events may be that are taking place. You know, whatever it is, let this be the next exciting event, whatever it may be. You know, you suddenly have to sell your house. Well, fine, let's turn it into a wonderful event, you know, a community event. Maybe I get some friends to help. Maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that. You know, when David and I thought we were going to sell our house, we started organizing. It turns out we didn't sell our house, but we let go of so much stuff that we didn't really apparently want and clearly didn't need, because I haven't missed a bit of it since. I haven't been going around, where is that? No. And I gave things away to people who seemed really thrilled to get them. And so there was no absence of God in that experience of letting go of our home, which we ended up not letting go of. But we did let go of what we thought our home meant. We let go of that house as our identity. And we just let go of that, and now we really are enjoying the house again. for about a year now, we've been enjoying the house again. And it's fun to come home. And so, because we're present in the house when we're in the house or when we're thinking of it. Any of you with jobs know that sometimes, it's wonderful to go to work. And sometimes, really, do I have to go to work again? Really, do I have to go back to this place? But I would ask you, did you feel that way about your previous job? And the one before that, the one before that. So maybe it's not the job, maybe it's you. Think about that. Here's a great opportunity for practicing the presence of God. I-95 at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, going in either direction. It's a great time for practicing the presence of God at work. It's a great opportunity. Or it's a great opportunity to see that your faith is in the absence of God. The absence of good. If God loved me, there'd be no traffic. If there's traffic, clearly I am not loved. Clearly. Well, otherwise, why would I be complaining? Why would I be saying this is such a terrible thing? It's not terrible. It ought to be expected. It's like, how is it we're always surprised at a traffic jam on I-95? Every time. How are we surprised at that? I've learned, leave an hour early. If I possibly can, I'll go early. I'll get to wherever I'm going, hopefully early. And there's always something to do to fill the time wherever I go. There's always some store or something, Dunkin' Donuts to have an iced tea. Or so there's some place to go to relax while I'm waiting for the scheduled appointment. I don't want to practice the absence of God. Today's talk is about trust. It's also about faith. It's practically the same thing. But I trust anymore, and I've gotten so much better about this, that if something goes awry, there's a solution. I didn't always trust that way. I didn't, with all I've studied, with all I've practiced, still I've gone in and out with that. No, there can't possibly. Years ago, when David and I had an apartment in Florida, we had to leave to get to the airport, and we had this thing that was the shelving unit that was delivered that was broken, and we had to send it back or put it in the lobby to be picked up. We didn't have tape for the box, and I wanted to get, quite frankly, I wanted to get to Waffle House before we went to the airport. It was a very important thing for me back then. Waffle House not so important these days, but it was then. We didn't have Waffle Houses where I came from or here. And so, got to go to Waffle House one more time. So I wanted to hurry up and get out of there. And David, trying to wedge the box together. And David says, they'll probably have tape down. The doorman will have tape. And I said, no, they won't. And he said, is it possible that the door person will have tape? And I said, no. Knowing full well I was going against every spiritual principle that I teach, that I pass along. No. We got down there, they had some tape. Did something, and the company never did pick it up. Finally just threw it away and we got our refund. But all that, and I made it to Waffle House. And so clearly I made it to Waffle House. And so that thing, there's no solution in my mind. There's no possible solution. There's no opportunity for fun. And I spoiled a lot of my days in my life thinking, and I spoiled it for myself and friends, I spoiled it for myself and David, with my resistance to the presence of God, active and present right here, right now. I didn't want to trust because I couldn't see it working out in a way that I couldn't see it. I was committed to my vision, not understanding there might be a better vision here. I've told this story before. It happened in first grade. Teacher came back from New England somewhere. I remember I lived in Washington, Pennsylvania, but she had this tin of this brown candy. It was maple candy, but it was brown. I liked red candy. Red candy meant sweet and delicious. Brown, I didn't know what that was. So the first day she passed the tin around, we were all allowed to take a piece. Oh, I didn't take it because it was brown. The next day I thought, fine, I'll try it. It was the most delicious piece of candy I'd ever eaten in my life, and I, to this day, regretted I didn't take a piece the first day. I missed out on that delicious, because maple candy to me doesn't taste the same now as it did on that day. And I'd like to know where that special store she went to was to get that tin of maple candy. And so to, okay. So you see, in my mind, God wasn't present. And that now I was in first grade. I was not trained or in tune to be aware of God active and present in the presence. But I still think about that. You know, here, 10 years later, I'm still thinking about that candy. And so yes, I'm glad you're paying attention. 10 years ago, you were in first grade. I was a stupid child. That was my first time in first grade. Anyway, so I looked up faith, metaphysical definition. Most of you have looked up, no, only some of you have looked up this. So faith from the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary and the Revealing Word says, the perceiving power of the mind linked with the power to shape substance. We hear this because what this is saying is it's right within us. This power, this faith, and the 12 powers, it's right in the middle of the brain there, and the pineal gland. Faith is our yes power. What are we saying yes to? So the perceiving power of the mind linked with the power to shape substance. Spiritual assurance. The power to do the seemingly impossible. Anybody? Have you ever done the seemingly impossible in your life? Have you ever witnessed it? Somehow because you said yes, even though you had no idea how it was going to happen. It is a magnetic power that draws unto us our heart's desire from the invisible spiritual substance. Faith is a deep inner knowing that that which is sought is already ours for the taking. Listen to that. That which is sought is already ours for the taking. If you take that with you today, that which I seek is already mine for the taking. Hold on to that in the hours and days and weeks and months and years to come. That which I seek is already mine for the taking. That means it's not absent. It is present, what I want. And some of us say, well, I want money and I don't see it. Then I'm here to be clear with you. It's not money you want. It's prosperity you want. It's the confidence that all needs and then some are being met now. So don't limit yourself to money. Expand yourself to prosperity. Expand your thinking. Expand your behaviors, your words. Expand it to include prosperity, not just money. I get it. I don't see, sometimes we don't say, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to do that? With prosperity is how you will pay your bills. Do you see the difference between money paying my bills and prosperity paying my bills? If I have faith that I am prospering now, and my neighbor is prospering now, my other neighbor's prospering now, all beings are prospering now, because it's mine for the taking. It's already here. And so, if I am prosperous, I know that my mortgage is being paid. I know my phone bill is being paid. I know this. Now I'm open to seeing how it's happening. Now, show me. And it could be that a great big check comes to the door. It could be a friend says, I want to pay your bills for the next year. How about that? Yes.
I heard something, I just had to stop. You said faith is the power to shape substance.
Uh-huh.
Substance is not stuff. Isn't substance thoughts?
Yes.
It's the invisible
Exactly.
stuff.
Yes.
So we're shaping the invisible
Exactly.
stuff.
Exactly. And so I just opened a lot of people in this room up to a new idea, a new thought. Someone could come to my door and say, I want to pay your bills for the next year. I hadn't considered that. And it's something real cool. Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm going to tell the story. And I haven't told it in a while. When I had to go into, well, no, I had to. I was expected to do Unity Seminary. When I was hired here, I was a licensed Unity teacher, and the board told me they wanted me to become an ordained Unity minister and go through the field licensing program. That's what it was called back then, to go through the field licensing program. Okay, fine. I didn't really want to, but David and I met with the woman in charge of education and what have you, and credentialing and the Unity movement. And I had to take 3 college courses, and the first one was an accounting class. And I thought, that's ridiculous. But this is what's expected of me. So I signed up at Phoenix Online to take an accounting course, beginner's accounting course. I understood why they needed that. They didn't need me to become an accountant. But if I'm going to be the CEO of a church, I really should understand a financial report. So I signed up. It was going to be I think it was a 6-week course. And started on Monday, and there was written homework to be done and online discussion. And that was going to be for the 6 weeks. And so by Saturday, I had 600 words of a 1,000 word report done, and no ideas for the other 400 words. And I had most of the discussion done, and I thought, this is not going to get easier. This is the easy week of a college level accounting course. I thought, I don't know what to do. We're having company tomorrow. I'll go sweep the back porch. So that's what I went outside and I started sweeping, and suddenly I had a panic attack. And I thought, of course you're having a panic attack, Shawn. Don't panic over the panic. You're just frightened. And so I stopped and I prayed. And this is one of the times I personified God, and I talked directly to God. And I said, God, okay, here's the solution as I see it. 1, somebody could knock at that door right now and say, I will take the course for you, Shawn. And you can relax. 2, I could suddenly be flooded with information and know exactly what to think, say, and do to take this course. Or 3, we could take our church out of the Unity movement and become an independent New Thought church. And I thought, now I need a nap. So I went, I sat on the, just as I sat on the edge of the bed, it occurred to me, give examples of financial reports. And so I ran downstairs and I opened up that 1,000-word report. From the 600, suddenly I had 1,100 words. I gave her, as the CEO, minister of the church, I need this report. As a board member, they need this report. As a congregant, they need this report. And so it all worked out well. And so the first week was done. And then I come into Unity on Sunday morning, still open, and I see Carol Dubbs, who was then board treasurer, who is also a CPA. I thought, and I went to Carol and I said, Carol, what if I paid you $20 an hour and you do all of the online homework, all of that stuff. I'll do all the online discussion, and we meet on Thursday nights. You'll explain to me what you did, which is a tutoring. You'll explain to me, and then I'll take you to dinner. We can spend time together. And she said, that sounds like a good deal. Because I wasn't looking to become anybody's accountant. I needed to understand the principles. Well, we got an A-. Somebody thought it was cheating. I said, no, it's not cheating. I hired a tutor to do it in the best and fastest and most expedient way we could. I prayed. There was a solution in the ethers. And I expressed, with the God of my understanding, the solutions as I could see them. And then more was revealed. But I was flooded with information that afternoon on how to finish the report. And that was one of my solutions. And then Carol didn't come knocking at the front door, but she did walk into church the next day. And I recognized her as someone who could help me. And so what I see is God was there and God was here. I could trust God in this part to actually pray, and then I could trust God to be active and present in the solution where I ask people and I sought. So that's what I mean. God is, in my experience, in so many ways, when I allow it to be present in my conscious mind, God is. Let me read a little more here. So, okay, he quotes Matthew 9:29. According to your faith, be it done unto you. According to your faith. Remember, some people say, oh, I need more faith. No, we have all the faith we will ever have. Where are we directing it? Are we directing it in love and solution and peace and joy? Or are we directing it in a belief in the absence of God, in the absence of good, in the absence of presence? And you can answer that for yourself. And realize we're probably iffy. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. If I'm mad at somebody, I'm directing it in the absence of God. If I'm in love, I'm directing it in the presence of God, except where I'm fearing I'm going to lose that love. Anybody? Oh, I'm so in love, I hope they never leave me. What? Suddenly, I've gone from in love to, oh no, they're walking away. And it's all in my mind. They haven't done a thing yet. And so to pay attention to that, oh, I hope I win the lottery and then I don't lose it all. And presence, faith in the presence. Faith is our yes power. Think about it. What am I saying yes to? What am I saying yes to in my life? And some would say, well, I say yes to my abundance. I say yes to peace and joy. I say yes. And then I get on the phone and I gossip and criticize and complain. Now I'm saying yes to misery. Now I'm saying yes to the absence of my good without even paying attention and noticing it. What is a political campaign except yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no? So I believe in this. I don't believe in this. I hate you. I love you. I don't. All that. It's all conflict to the presence that God is. What's a religious debate except yes, no, yes, no, yes, no? Yes, I believe in God. Well, I don't believe in that God. I don't like your God. Your God's horrible. Somebody believes in their God and they're not hurting anybody, let them have their God. Offer them yours if yours is so great. But if yours is so great, be the example of how great your God is, not the word. Be the example. Put it into practice. You believe in healing? Have a healing. You believe in power and presence? Be powerful and present. If you believe in Reiki, and then apply Reiki and have a healing. If you believe in the power of the word, then let your word be impeccable. If you say you believe this, put it into practice. Let your God speak for itself through you. I do believe that healings are possible because I've had them. And I know when I'm not having a healing, it's because I'm not applying the principle. I'm not bad for that. Sometimes just lazy, just slothful. But it's not because I don't believe in the power of the healing. Because as Myrtle Fillmore said, God is never sick. God is health itself. So there can't be an absence. Now our bodies go through stuff, and sometimes we have what seems like a predisposition. A predisposition is different than an inevitability. We can be predisposed for certain things, but we don't have to say yes to it. And that's where a lot of our ancestors of New Thought, they had found Myrtle Fillmore, our co-founder. Yes, there had been tuberculosis in her family, but when she came down with it, she said, no, I don't wish to die of this. And I don't want to live with it any longer than I have to. And so she put full concerted effort into that healing. And she called upon an invisible presence every moment of every day of her life. And it took 2 years to have the healing. And she lived another 45. But she saw when there were symptoms that reappeared. And she stepped up her practice, but she went within and said, okay, I think I'm doing the right thing, but this is here. So clearly there's something missing in my thinking. And then she would listen, and then she'd hear the guidance, and she didn't want to hear the guidance because it was a pain. The one, open up all your windows and clean your house from top to bottom. How many people want to hear that today? Especially if they're not feeling well. She did it. All the symptoms left for that day. And so, to pay attention to this stuff and say, oh, there's a reason I like unity, and there's a reason I don't care for unity. Unity offers the solution. The unity message offers the solution to anything that ails us mentally, emotionally, physically. It offers it all. But I'm really going to have to realign my thinking. I'm really going to have to realign my thought. Now, I suggest to you that you find a God of your understanding that has no need for you to be guilty because you didn't already do it. That has no need for you to be ashamed because you haven't already done it. Today is as good a day to awaken as any. Yeah, but if I'd have done it when I was younger, and I tell you, that's your insane mind trying to get you to keep from having the healing today. Remember, our insane mind has helped us in the past. It has served us when we had no other tools. But we don't need the insane mind today. We need the healthy mind. It's like an alcoholic in recovery. Yes, I like to say this to people. You have a disease called alcoholism. And all it wants to do today is get you to drink. Because that's its function. It's not mad at you. It doesn't want you to die. Let's face it, if you died from alcoholism, it'd be out of a job. It just wants you to drink because it served you for how long? The desire to smoke served me for a long time until it couldn't serve me anymore because I found a higher voice, something I wanted more. I wanted an active, clear prayer life. And so suddenly I couldn't drink, couldn't eat, I clearly could eat. I couldn't drink, couldn't smoke if I wanted the prayer life I wanted to have. And so I became willing to have the prayer life I wanted to do, and to do what I needed to do by way of thinking and action to do it. Nothing's mad at us. Nothing and no one. As God is for me, nothing can be against me. Therefore, everything is for me. And so even my diseases, and I always like a hyphen in there, are for me. They served for so long. Now they can't serve in the way they used to serve because I have new tools. I have new spiritual practices. And so I can't use something that is a detriment to my body. Because all some of those diseases will do now is kill the body. Kill the mind, kill the body. Not because they want to, but that's all they can do. And so anytime anybody ever tells you, this wants you dead, no, it doesn't. It wants to serve. As God is for me, everything and everyone is for me. Everything and everyone is for me. Everything is working together to serve. It's just that not everything can serve me any longer in the way that it used to. And so to make friends with your past, make friends with your old resentments, make friends with those. They're not mad at you. They're just trying to serve you in a way that used to feel fulfilling. So I said, if we had only said nice things about other people in the household I grew up in, we'd have had very short conversations. And so, in order to keep conversing, we had to keep gossiping. We had to keep criticizing others. The problem is eventually you run out of others and you start criticizing each other. And the hatred just builds, and now it's in the house in an even greater degree. It was fine when you hated the neighbor. Now you hate me. And I don't know what to do with that information except hate you back. It's that crazy stuff. So, hello. I'm nowhere near finished. Let's see here. I won't read all of this. There was a part. This. The faith of Jesus. I don't talk a lot about Jesus, but I like this. And he says Jesus did not claim an exclusive supernatural power, which we usually credit to him. He had explored the ether energy, which he called the kingdom of the heavens. His understanding was beyond that of the average man. However, he knew and said that others could do what he did if they would only have faith. That's all. It's not that anybody who still has the Jesus thing that we brought up, he is superior to us. He isn't. He wasn't at all superior to us, and it still isn't. He had good ideas, and he wasn't afraid to explore those ideas to see if they worked, even at the risk of not being popular, even at the risk of not having a lot of money. But he also did it at the risk of having all his needs met, at the risk of living in confidence that he knew the difference between right and wrong. He could practice discernment in every situation. And really that's very much what I want. I want the willingness. I have the power to do it. I want the willingness to practice discernment in all of my thinking, in all of my words, in all of my actions. That I know the difference between right and wrong. We're not talking about I shouldn't steal because it's bad. I shouldn't steal because what it shows is my belief in the absence of God. That's what stealing is about for me. It's if I have to steal, it tells me I believe there is not enough good for me. That's why I need to not steal. I need to not character assassinate. Because then I'm displaying to myself and anyone who's paying attention my faith that God is actually somehow against me. Because how could I be against another person if I didn't think God was against me? And I don't want to display that any longer. I want to demonstrate, as God is for me, everything is for me. Not only is nothing and no one against me, but everything and everyone is for me. And I want to be one of those everything and everyone's who is for everything and everyone. That I am pro people. That I am pro a life lived abundantly. I don't want to confuse that with pro-life. I am pro a life lived abundantly and abundantly well. That I am pro humanity. That I am for people who don't seem to be for me. That's what I desire. Sometimes it's a burden to pursue that thinking and that lifestyle, but I'm working on it. I'm going to read one last thing here. It's a short passage from the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5. It says here, trust is the armor of righteousness. Humble yourself and trust under God's mighty hand. Let all of your fears go, because they serve no purpose that you desire. Walk in peace, with peace as your only shield. This is the way of trust. Be kind and gentle with yourself. Forgive your misperceptions as they seem to come upon you. Misperceptions are to be let go because they're not true. This is the path that leads you from misperception to true perception, is the reflection of light. God will come upon you in your willingness to see nothing else. That means is if you only desire to see God, that's what you will see. And God, you are free because you are no longer hampered by the misperception that you are not free. Stand willing to let go of misperception through your willingness to see that you have misperceived. It is the clearing away of misperception that helps you to see what it is that you do. As you see what you do in the clarity of light, you may do it in joy and in harmony with the oneness of your truth. This is your true desire, and this is the path of ascension into the realms of heavenly awareness. So, It can be daunting to only desire to see God because the ego comes in and says, you'll be really bored. You're never going to have fun again. You're going to be stuck taking care of a friend in Texas with nothing to do, and it'll be 1,000 degrees, not just 104. It will be 1,000 degrees, and you will be burning in the hell of doubt. That's what the ego will tell you.
Yeah.
Have a nice trip that will be delayed on the runway. Desire God more than anything if you assume that God is good. Knowing you don't know what God is, but it's good. It's neither male nor female. It's not stuff, except the stuff of substance. It is on your side 100%. And it will clear your vision to correct or true perception that you can have the best time ever, and you don't have to fear losing. Let that be you as a believer. Desire God more than you desire anything else, and find out if it's good or not. Thank you.